Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. Today we are going to do Emacs coding. So from the vote, you guys want Emacs instead of Wolfram Language today. So tomorrow probably I'm gonna do Wolfram Language. So today Emacs, we are so there are a few choices. If you look at my screen, so Emacs Lisp, we are going to first choice, write a command to turn Markdown to HTML. So you guys here, pick a choice. The first choice, write a command to turn Markdown to HTML. That's one. Or I'm going to go over Emacs Lisp string functions. So this is choice number 2. Pick a topic, okay? Type in the chat. So the choice number 2, going over string functions, I'm going to demonstrate how I work in HTML with a demonstration of XHTML mod, and also give you lots of tutorials about Emacs Lisp string functions. Basically, I'm going to work on this page. So you're going to see my workflow and learn some Emacs Lisp strings. So which topic do you like? So say it now, okay? So am I alive? Check. So audio check. Yeah, audio check. Video check. Good. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, so pick a topic now. So hi guys, Oscar and hello guys. So meanwhile, so you are looking at my keyboard. I talked about 2 days ago. So let me show you. Okay, so this keyboard, this is Kmove. Let's see, Xa Li keyboard. Okay, so you go to my keyboard blog. There it is. Click on that keyboard guide and go to my blog and turn on JavaScript so you can see all the videos. So that keyboard you are looking at, this one is Kmove K68 Butterfly. This is a new one. They came out. So let me show you the full glory. Fantastic. Okay, they sent it to me for review, and I like it very much. Now normally, as you see, I'm not a PC keyboard guy. I need ergonomic keyboard, with lots of thumb keys. But however, this is greatly useful when I lie in bed, when I lie in bed. So this is so check it out, okay? And they just came out. In fact, they just came out, so read my reviews, and they just came out. So I did a video a few days ago on this. So you go to their website, click on that, then shrink, turn on JavaScript. They started to do a kickstart, so you can you go to their website, and they did a kickstart. Where is it? At the bottom, connections hot swappable. Yes, a feature which I do not use. If you don't like the switches, you can buy switches and swap them. I've never actually tried to do that. So anyway, you go to their website, you'll find the links where to buy, okay? Okay, so that is about the keyboard. Okay, so let me show you. Now let's go back to, so look at my workflow, Emacs Lisp workflow. So okay, so let's go down here. So which topic is it? Not that, that. And the show in browser. Fantastic. Today's topic. Okay, nobody is saying what topic. Okay, so let me just do random there. I'm gonna make a choice. So I'm going to start to do Emacs, working on my web page on the string functions. Okay, there is a lot to do. Or I can write a markdown to HTML. Let's work on my string functions. Because it's been a while, today's video, as far as focus topic goes, is already wasted. Because I already talked for like 10 minutes almost. Yeah, I don't know. I undecided. That's my problem. Okay, let's work on this this page. Emacs Lisp string functions. Okay. So I'm using this keyboard. This is caps lock, and now I need to change the caps locks to the home key. So what you do is you go. Okay, you copy this URL back to Emacs and put the URL there. There it is already, and make it. Let's. What? Okay, so that. Okay, so now show the current. Close this window. Show the current. Highlight the current line, and what you want to do is go to the Xali keyboard blog, go to the software how-to, and everything you need to know about key binding on Windows. Then there is this Microsoft Power Toys. This is the best tool. This is the first stop if you are on Windows, if you want to remap keys. Okay, so I have it installed, so I'm just going to bring it to front and go to the keyboard manager and turn it on. So I have caps lock to home. Now in Xafly keys I can now. Yeah, so I can. Yeah, so I can switch my mods. Okay. So string functions. Okay, so you need to go here. And copy all the URL, highlight it, do that, show in browser. So I'm gonna work on Emacs string functions. Okay, so on this page is basically essentially the my tutorial on all Emacs Lisp string functions, and it needs some work. Basic string functions: substring, length substring, join string, split string, string to from number, string to buffer. So, and regular expression in string, regular expression replaced in string. Okay, trim string and others. And essentially here is a complete list of string functions. Now some of them are kind of weird. Set case table. What is this? Select a new case table for the current buffer. Select a new standard case table for current buffer. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Case table for new buffers. See set case table. So it's related to uppercase and lowercase. Make characters UC and LC, uppercase and lowercase, a pair of intercase converting letters. Yeah, so all these functions are related to case. You might be wondering, why are they so complex? Why are there so many functions on setting up a case? Well, that's because Unicode. Because in Unicode, you have more than 26 letters of the English alphabet. So you have, Greek, Russian, and so I suppose that's what these are. So let's look at the Emacs Lisp documentation. Case conversion in Lisp. The character case functions change the case of single characters or of the contents of strings. The functions normally convert only alphabetic characters. okay, other characters are not altered. You can specify a different case conversion mapping by specifying a case table. Okay, but I suppose by default it works on Greek letters, right? So for example, let's try alpha. Okay, so here we have a alpha. Yeah. So here we have a Greek alpha. Now let's change the case. It works. So let's try pi, for example. Pi, change the case. Yeah, so by default it works on the normal commonly used alphabets. You don't have to do anything special. So why is this page, let's go back. Okay, let's open a new buffer. Case conversion table. So these functions actually should not be here, because this tutorial page is for people who are coding Emacs Lisp, and those case table functions is rarely used. This page is designed for people who want just to look at string functions. Okay, so now we understand. So this section we don't want these case tables. And then downcase capitalized, those are important functions, string functions. Number to string, string to number, those are also important. Concat is for join string. vconcat is turning a string into a vector. Append string to a list. Okay, so you see what I need to do is document them, reformat them and document them and give examples. There's already, you see, Emacs Lisp manual. So you can go to Emacs Lisp manual. So you are looking at Emacs Lisp manual. They are documenting, not too bad, So why do I need to kind of rewrite them for my own page? Let me explain. Okay, it's still needed because this page, my tutorial is it's a tutorial, while the Emacs manual is kind of more elaborate. Because for a beginner, first of all, very few people read Emacs manual, and they are organized in a very difficult to understand way. So for example, here you are looking at Emacs Lisp manual. Like normally, in a programming language, Python, Java, let's say Python, PHP, or most other languages, you have a section on all functions that work on string. But that's not the case with Emacs Lisp manual, because, Emacs Lisp manual is written with the mindset of 1990s. So Emacs Lisp manual, for example, let's see string. I want to know all string functions. So you have string type, syntax for string, text property for string. Let's search for string. Search string, string type. Okay. Text properties in string. For most people, you have no idea what those are. Then strings and characters. Okay, string and character basics, comparison of characters and strings, creating strings, modify strings. Okay, formatting strings. Okay, so those are some of the string functions you'll find in there. Okay, so if you click on that, conversion of characters and string. Yeah, anyway, so it's not as convenient to use because all the string functions are scattered all over. And also some of them, you rarely use. For example, predicate for strings. You have string P, which tests whether if something expression is a string or not. This is rarely, very rarely used. and this one string or null p, I never used it before. This function returns t if object is a string or nil. Okay, so if it's a string, it returns true, but if it's a nil, it also returns true. It's almost never used, because you can do it easily by, for example, you can do it easily by or string p. Let's make it Emacs Lisp. Okay, so we are going to start Emacs Lisp mod. So you can do x. This is null x. Yeah, so basically, essentially, that's what this does. Okay, my mouse doesn't work. My mouse markers. So let's look at the documentation of this string or null p. Okay, so you can see it's a high-level function because it's written in Lisp. You can see it's defined in sub-r.el. So let's go to it. So now we can see the source code. It's exactly how I have written it. So this function is, it would be interesting to look at the history. This is like probably 30 years ago. Why people created this function? I mean, what's the situation? What's the context when they created this? It's interesting. But you can do it just by writing it yourself. So close that. So you see, my point is, if you read Emacs manual, some of these, especially for beginners, you don't need to know them. Like, they are kind of redundant. So what is this one? Char or string p. Yeah, okay. So, this one is useful. Comments? No comments. Okay. So some of the string functions. So my point is, that's why I'm writing my own tutorial, which is kind of more convenient. Okay, let's begin to write it. Okay, so let's close that. Put it back here and shrink. Okay. Let's see, font 17. Okay, so select, delete. Okay, so what we are going to do, we need to go to this page, make a backup, and update the date. You see, this is February 4th. Now it's updated. Okay, so let's see what's the overall, how the things I need to change. Okay, basic string functions, join string, split string. Okay, so first of all, you see all these syntax highlighting, this HTML, make it impossible to read. So let's remove them. So now it's easier to read. And now so now you go to the browser and you look at this part, refresh. You can see now there's no more syntax coloring. And what I need to do is basic string functions. Okay, split string, join string. Okay, now I'm reading this page to see what is the things and how do I want to modify this page. Basically, this page needs an overhaul. And here, buffer to text string. So this page needs an overhaul. So these sections with header 3, they needs to become a definition list. Okay, so these are the most commonly used functions. That's what I cover on the in the beginning. Then you have get buffer to string. Okay, so get buffer string, which is you want to turn part of the buffer to the string. Okay, so that's important. That's a separate page. So how you gonna do that? So this is an organizational problem. So if I want this page, originally this page is a beginner's tutorial to Emacs Lisp. So, in the beginning, like 10 years ago, it just covered the most basic string functions. So you know how to use them, and that's it. And when you want to know more advanced string functions, basically you know where to look, because once you know the basic syntax, you can, you don't need, my own version of documentation. You can directly, go to, you can just describe function and get, the information. But over the years, the years, I started to make them more complete and comprehensive. So that's the evolution of my tutorial pages. Basically, over the years, I changed them. So, and now this page, so the plan is that to turn, this page right now is kind of a mess, because in the beginning, I teach you some of the most basic string functions, but then, let's see, then string to buffer. Okay, this is this is great. This is a very useful tip to turn a string into a buffer, because in Emacs Lisp, oftentimes you want to work with a buffer, because in a buffer data type, you have cursor position, you have cursor position, you can delete part of it, you can insert other parts. You have it's much more powerful than directly working with strings. So oftentimes you want to convert a string to a buffer, and there is no built-in function to do that. And the way you do that is, via this code. So this is extremely useful. But now you run into a problem. If I want to convert this page into some kind of a list, a list of all string functions, then you have an issue. So where does this string to buffer fit in? Because it's not a function. So this is, the issues I need to work out. How am I going to do it? Am I going to leave the page as is, or because if I'm going to turn this page into basically a list of string functions, then you have an issue of where you're gonna put this, right? So you have a kind of consistency issue. Okay, so that's another issue. And the other issue we mentioned before is that we could turn all this into a definition list. That's more in the style of list of functions. Okay, so. And I'm going over to see what I'm gonna do. Okay, so then you have match string to regular expression. So this can be a definition list like that. Then you have get substring by regular expression. Okay, now you have match string, which is a function written in C, and here's how you use them. But you also have match string dash P, which returns either true or false. And I didn't list that because, here's something interesting. For example, I can show you. So for example, let's go to a new buffer, switch to XAR Emacs Lisp Smart, then match string. Okay, so here's a syntax for match string, and now you can do describe function match string, and you can see the documentation. You see, now you can see Oh, match string is actually not written in C. Match string is written in Emacs Lisp. Okay, but anyway, so there is another function called match string P. Okay, so and there's also match string no properties. And match substitute replacement. What is this? I never used this before. Wow. Match substitute replacement. God. So what are you guys? Hello, Xa, do you still use Kinesis keyboard? Yes, I do. I'm using this keyboard you are seeing right now just because, I want to demonstrate. I want to give a plug for them because they send it to me for review. Okay, no comments. So what am I let's see. Okay, so match string. Okay, so let's go back. So let's do a list matching functions on define. So we can see a list of all functions defined in this sub-r.el. you can see this bunch of crazy functions. This is one of the problem of Lisp, okay, because Lisp is based on cons. It's interesting to know that they are written in Emacs Lisp as opposed to implemented in C. This is one of the Lisp problem based on cons. One of the fundamental problem of Lisp languages, including Common Lisp, Scheme Lisp, Emacs Lisp, except Clojure. Clojure did it correctly. Clojure no longer based their list on cons. So basically, what does this do? Because car just gets the first part of the cons, and cadre gets the second part of the cons. So car, this CAAR is basically nested car. Okay, so let me show you. So if you open it, the purple is killed. Okay, so describe function car. Let's go to it again. So you see, this is basically just car and car. Okay, and car is basically car and cadre. So basically, it gets the second part of the cons list, then it gets the first part. So you have this idiotic, combinatorial function names, car, cadre. And back 20 years ago, I asked, how many are there? Like, just how long can it be? Because theoretically could be infinite, but because you can have, for example, you can have a function that's any combination of this idiocy of the Lisp. Yeah, but the Lisp people don't know it. They think cons is the best thing since sliced bread, the Lisp phonetics. So anyway, that's an interesting digression. So okay, so you can see them. Then the proper way for this car cutter is basically nth. Okay, nth. Okay, so let me switch to Xa Emacs Lisp mod. Okay, you see, that is the proper way, not the car and cutter craziness. Okay, so, and also, this got a problem. So we are digressing a lot. For example, this last, is supposed to return the last element, okay? But however, it doesn't really, okay? So, so for example, let me show you, okay? So let me show you last. Okay, I don't even have a. So for example, you have a list, okay, 1, 2, 3. So suppose you do last, it should return 3, right? But it doesn't really, okay? For example, evaluate, you can see, let me magnify, let's do it again. Evaluate, and let's go to the message buffer. You can see it returns parenthesis 3. Why is that? Because it actually returns, let me show you what it returns exactly. It actually returns this cons 3 nil, okay? This is equivalent to that, okay? Let me show you, okay? Equal, now this is hard to do because in Lisp you get into the complexity of, I'm not sure you can even, let's try that, okay? True, you see the mini buffer, it says true, you see. Now, but this is not intuitive. What you expect is that it simply return the number 3. So if you actually want it to return the number 3, you have to do, car last 3, okay? So let me show you, okay? So equal 3, then that, okay? Now if you evaluate this, let's hold on a second, it's pretty fine. Now if you evaluate it, you can see it's true. So now it's true, you see, and this is also true, okay? So that's something interesting about the Lisp cons. Okay, I'm digressing over. So what we're gonna do, so copy that, cut that, close that, go to the talk show, and jump to today's talk show, and create a new Emacs Lisp code template, paste it here, show in browser. So that's a digression, and now syntax color the code, refresh. Okay, that's a digression. So now let's go back to close that. Let's go back to, so we were looking at all the functions in the subr.el package. Woohoo! Ben Holtzman, thank you very much. Do you have a question? Payment is a great time to ask a question. So I'm gonna, go into if you have a question. Okay, so we are looking, we have been looking. So let's open the file again. So we've been looking into this package, subr.el, and the list matching lines again. So we are looking at all the functions defined in this package. Now how many lines are there? 6,000 lines of code. This subr, is kind of very fundamental. The purpose of this file, let's go to diet. You can see this is the file. This is in the directory Emacs Lisp, bundled Emacs Lisp code. Now, this subr file is essential because it defines many of the basically core functions of Emacs Lisp. Essentially, even the core function of Lisp. So instead of defining them in C, they define them here. So let's do let's list matching lines define again, so we can see this car and cadre are essential, and 0p is also an essential function. It returns, it checks whether the function is 0. I mean, a value, a number is 0. And also you see this error, is also a fundamental function in Emacs Lisp when you want to return an error. So this sub r is like this sub r file is very essential part of fundamental part of Emacs Lisp. So we are looking at as part of we are digressing and looking into this file. So the reason we talked about this file is because we are looking at string functions. And okay, let's continue. Okay, so so it also defines keyboard as all critical function. That when you need to define keyboard, global set keys, local set keys, or the core part of Emacs Lisp. Okay, it even it also defines start process. This is also fundamental. This is when you call a shell script. I mean, when you want to write a command that calls a shell script, that's what you call. That you need to call. For example, let's show. Let's go to Emacs. For example, let's go to my Emacs blog, show in browser. Let's go to some, let's say, set up standard copy, cut, paste keys. Okay, so let's go to the page. There is a page and search for PNG. So here is the image file. Here's the image tag. Let's undo. What did I do? Okay, let's open it. You can see that file is this file. And I want to open this in the default image viewer in the operating system. So I can do that. So you see, on Windows, my default image viewer is iPhone a classic best image viewer from 1990s. Now cancel, escape. Okay, so you see, I just called the command to open this in an external viewer. So what is this command? The command I called, you can see it's called open in external app. And now if we describe key and press the key, you can see, oh wait, not this one. Okay, hold on a second. Describe key and press the key, you can see it says open in external app is defined in flag keys here. And now enter to open it. You can see here is a source code for open in external app. Okay, now let's narrow to defend so we can just focus on this code. So you can see, and it's calling, there it is, start process. You see, now depending on whether you are on Windows or on Mac. So if you are on Windows, I call a shell command, then I call PowerShell. But if you are on Darwin, which is Mac, then you also call a shell command. But if you are on Linux, what I do is I call start process. Anyway, that's another detail. So what's the difference? Well, if you call start process is more efficient to launch a external command, while shell command is more convenient for writing call Emacs Lisp code. For example, right now I'm on Windows, so I call shell command, and the shell command actually called PowerShell. But start process has its own problems because for example, my open in external app, I try to use start process on Windows. You got the other issues. So anyway, that's start process. Okay, so if you now describe function and go to start process, you can see the documentation for start process, and you can jump to the source code. So it's in subr.el. So this anyway, so this is a very fundamental core function. also defined in sub R. Now let's look at, I'm just curious how they actually implement it. Okay, so they call make process, which is more fundamental. Okay, so now let's describe function on make process. There it is. So you see, make process is a built-in function in C source code. That is the more core, the most core. I mean, the more fundamental of the command. Okay, so we have lots of digressions, and let's list matching lines on define again. So we know, this is very fundamental, this sub R or this function sub R.el package. Now I'm curious. Now, is the sub R actually defined as a package, a feature, or not? Let's go down. Okay, it's not even defined as a feature. Let me explain. Okay, so let's see. Search for require. This matching lines require. Okay. Okay, what's the word? What's the function I'm looking for? Go to Starfly keys, go to the bottom, provide. Okay, the keyword I'm looking for is provide. So back to sub R.el, list matching lines, provide. Okay, so you can see they don't have a line that says provide sub R.el. You see, so what is this provide and require? Let me explain. Okay, so when you define a package, actually I have it all Emacs provide. Okay, so you can search for, I have a tutorial on explaining on what is Emacs Lisp. When you code Emacs Lisp, writing a package, what is provide, what is require, what is features. So basically, they are a mechanism in Emacs that defines a package. Okay, different from Python, PHP, and JavaScript and others. Modern languages, you have the concept of a package or module that is connected to namespace. When you define the module, you essentially create a namespace that can be imported, and you can specify what function names, what symbols you want to import or export. But in Emacs Lisp, you don't have that. You have a kind of more primitive, basically it's lousy. Okay, so you read this page if you want to understand. But essentially, it tries to do the same thing. Basically, when you want to import a package, you say require. And when you write a package, you have to say provide at the end. So other people, when you call recall, you can load the package, something like that. Okay. So anyway, so that's why I'm trying to look for, in this sub R.el file, I'm trying to look for the provide keyword, list matching lines to see all lines that contain provide. You can see, because normally at the end of a package, for example, let's go to XHTML mod. Okay, normally at the end of a package, if it's a package, you will see the line provide something. Okay, that means this file is trying to define a package. Then another Lisp code can say require, or user init file, Emacs init file can say require, something. But in the case of the sub.el, it doesn't even have that. So that means the sub.el is not even a package. It actually just a very, it's just a file that Emacs loads when it starts up. So it's actually more fundamental, because all these functions in here, they are not part of a package. They are part of Emacs Lisp core. Okay, I understand that now. Okay, so now let's go back to how we started to look for these functions, because we were trying to look for string match. Oh yeah, okay. So let's see, match. Okay, yeah, so we can see we have several string functions are defined here, including match string no properties, and split string, which turns a string into a list. Very fundamental functions. And we also have string replace. Okay, that's how we got into here. Now I'm not doing a good job of working on my page because I've been rambling all over the place and haven't even started to change this page. But anyway, it is true you are looking at my workflow, because that's what I do, spend hours to work on this tutorial. Because I cannot, you cannot just start to change things, because you need to know what you're going to change them into. Are you going to have just a list of string functions? Or are you going to have, like more essay-oriented, tutorial style? Each one has problems. So that's anyway. You see, the reason I need to look into where is this defined is that because later on, once you covered all the like basic functions, but later on you'll run into functions that are not part of core Emacs. For example, here. For example, string join. String join is EDR. Let's say string trim. Okay, now string trim is a very useful command in almost every programming language. You want to remove the white spaces before and after a string. Now in Emacs, you don't have that function, unless if you want that, you have to require sub r-x. Okay, now this is one of my major gripe. Now these functions, this trim stream function, they came out around 2015, and they are placed into the sub r-x package. Very odd. Let me explain. Okay, so for example, if you want to train stream in Emacs, let's type it. So let's describe function string trim. Okay, there it is. So you can see, it's finally fixed. Thanks to Emacs 28. They fixed this problem. This is another major thing. God, we discovered. Okay, this is, a giant digression. But anyway, so trim stream is now in what's going on? It's now in the package sub-r.el. Okay, now that's new. Now when did it? I suppose this is a change in Emacs 28. So let's press Ctrl H-N to go to the GNU Emacs news. Okay, now let's list function. The matching lines, type string trim. Okay, not found. Let's try again. Sub R. Okay, not found. Maybe it's changing Emacs 27. What? Let's this matching line is sub R. Okay, there's one mention. Sub R, so that's available by default. Okay, you see, so sub R, anything is sub R subr.el is now, it's available. You don't have to load the package. Okay, but when did the trim string changed from subr-x to subr? That's an important question. Finally, they fixed this. Oh God, I've been complaining about this for like 10 years. Like you don't have a trim string function until 2015. Like that's incredible. But in 2015, Emacs, I have an article on this. In 2014, okay, Emacs 24.4, they finally added string trim function and all the others, or string reverse, okay, string join. string join, string join is a silly alias, because you already have concat. Anyway, they introduced string in Emacs 24.4 in year 2014. But however, they made it so that you have to load the package subr-x. And what's subr-x? That's the X stand for experimental. So let's see what happened to subr-x if you still have it. No, you don't have it. Wow, that's amazing. You don't have that file anymore. So what happens if you actually run the code require subr? This is important. Okay, so let's find out what happens to close that. What happens if you, let's go to my talk show page. What is it? Talk. Okay, go to talk show. Emacs Lisp template, expand it out, paste it, magnify. Now what happens if I load it? Run it. Wow, it's loaded for compatibility reasons, I think. So you lovely little trick. What? What does it mean? Right now we have a puzzle. Okay, this is important. This is important to know because for about 5 years you have this package subr-x, which are required if you want to trim string. Okay, but now apparently it's no longer there. But however, if you run the code, there's no error. So first of all, you need to find out what is the mechanism, that kind of alias. Let's see, describe function subr. Let's see. Wait, so what is the mechanism, that kind of alias subr to sub or something like that? This very we have to find out. God, my mouse button doesn't work because I'm now on Vorak layout via Windows. So let's describe function on this. Okay. Oh, there it is. It still exists. String blank p is a compile Emacs Lisp function in subr.el. Okay, the file still exists. Now let's jump to diode. Okay, they are in different directory. What? So this subr.x is in the directory. Wait, what's the other? So let's see. Let's split window. Let's go back to, let's describe function string trim. Okay. Now jump to diode. Here is subr. and it's in the directory. Wait, they are, oh, what? They are in the same directory. Oh. One is Lisp and one is Emacs Lisp. Okay, so you see the sub R is in the Lisp directory. There. But then there is another, so yeah, so okay, so if you go up there, so there's a Lisp directory, you go there, and then there is a Emacs Lisp directory, subdirectory in it. Then in this directory, you will find sub r-x. Okay. Now another thing we need to find out is that. Oh, okay. So now I understand completely. Okay. So you see, string trim is considered critical. Now it has been moved to the sub r.el. Okay. But some of the others, such as string join, it's not critical because string join is just, let me show you, okay? So string join already exists in Emacs Lisp. It's called concat. So, okay, let me show you, okay? So join, okay, so cancel. List matching lines, join. You see, string join in Emacs Lisp, there's already a function that does string join, and that function is called concat or map concat. Okay, either way. So, it's called that because that's a Lisp tradition, like 40 years ago. But however, to the modern people, you feel like every string function needs to begin with the word string or something like that. That's why they added string join. So they added that in this sub r.ex file. Okay, so so that's the situation. So you can see, in order to write, today we are rewriting this page, my tutorial on string functions. In order to like reorganize or update this page, actually there's a lot to do, because as we just happened, we noticed these changes, and you have to rewrite them. You have to tell the users what's going on. So I have to spend another actually an hour or two to look into which one has been moved to where. And also notice they didn't even document it in Emacs news. For example, let's try again. Control H N. So we are looking at the GNU Emacs news in Emacs 28, and search for trim. It's not mentioned. They didn't mention, oh, there's a new function, by the way, in Emacs core. They didn't mention it. Now, maybe it's in Emacs 27, so let's go to Emacs 27 news. List matching lines trim, no mention of it. Let's see, let's go back to Emacs 26. Let's mention trim. Oh, okay, so they did mention it in Emacs 26, did it? So functions string trim left, string trim right, and string trim now accept optional argument. Okay, no. Okay, not here. Now in Emacs 25, let's go to Emacs 25 feature list. Okay, let's search for trim. No mention of it. No mention of the change of string trim. Let's go to Emacs 24. Trim. No mention. Jesus. This is Emacs 24, right? Trim, split string now takes an optional argument trim. So they did not, you see, the point I want to make here is that in Emacs news, which is release notes, string trim is introduced in Emacs 24, okay, 24.4. But however, you do not find it mentioned anywhere. Let's try it again, string trim, okay, so let's make sure, let's see, describe function string trim. You see, they mentioned in Emacs 24, new library sub-r-x with these functions, okay? That's mentioned in Emacs 24, okay? However, sometimes between then and now, they moved some of these more critical functions, such as string trim, into the Emacs Lisp core. So did they mention it? Let's see. Okay, not here, not in Emacs 25, not in Emacs 26. Okay, not in Emacs 27, not in Emacs 28. So nowhere they mentioned it moved. So anyway, the point is you no longer need to load this sub-R experimental package. Okay, thank you, Oflamo. So Oflamo has got, I think that's it for today. Yeah, I'm getting tired. Oflamo says, have you ever tried Chuck, the concurrent strongly timed audio programming language? No. Now, God, my mouse button doesn't work. No. So any other questions? Audio Chuck, is that what it is? Oh, here. Chuck. Strongly timed, concurrent, and on-the-fly music programming language. Strongly timed, okay, don't know what that means. Concurrent, okay, and on-the-fly, okay. What? Music programming language, okay, a bunch of questions. So first of all, what is a music programming language? I suppose some kind of generate notes. And also all these adjectives doesn't make sense to me. So Chuck is a programming language for real-time sound synthesis, okay, that makes sense. And music creation, okay, real-time sound synthesis, okay, that means it generates sounds like a synthesizer, but not by tricking knobs and wheels or sliders, but you do it by, programming language. Okay, that's great. By the way, Wolfram Language can do that. Okay, I want to show you this quickly. Okay, so sound, it's, so you are looking at Wolfram Language, okay? Sine. So what is how do you use the sound function? So you have quite a few functions for sound. Oh yeah, sound is not what I want. I want play. Yeah, so I want to play sine function. Okay, I want to play the sine function. Sine evaluated at God, my new keyboard, at x, and x goes from 0 to, let's say, 20. So this is going to play a pure tone. Okay, it generates a pure sine wave. Okay, you can play it. Okay, what is this? 20 seconds. Oh, that's playing for 20 seconds. That's too long. Let's say 5 seconds. And this is 8K hertz. Times 5. Okay, let's see. You need to get it right. Okay, 44. Oh yeah, so you need to get the phase. You want to times pi. That's right, I forgot. Okay, let's see what is this. So yeah, okay, let's say 400 times 440. That's a standard note A below the middle C. Okay, let's try it. There it is, pure sine wave for 5 seconds. Can you guys hear it? Wolfram Language. So you can, there's someone who wrote a synthesizer entirely in Wolfram Language. Let's see if you guys can hear it. There it is. And let's multiply it by tangent, okay? Because you can get lots of fancy sounds. Let's see if they have a fancy example. There it is, okay? I'm just gonna play it. Fantastic. Okay, that's what I want to show. As a digression. Wait, God, my copy key. My mouse copy button doesn't work because normally I'm using a Vorag keyboard, physical Vorag keyboard, the Kinesis over there. But now I'm using this and I haven't yet programmed it into a Vorag keyboard. So I'm using Windows, you see, Windows Vorag layout. But if I do that, but my mouse, this button is Control C. But if I press it, it's the operating system convert the C into something else. Convert the QWERTY C into the Vorag J. So now my copy button on the mouse becomes Control J. And I can show that in Emacs. Okay, so let's show another great feature of Emacs. So now I press describe key, and now I press the mouse button. Okay, so this one. You see, it says C comma is undefined. That's right, because the wait, what is trying to convert? It tries to convert QWERTY to Vorag. Okay, so it tries to convert QWERTY C to Vorag. Anyway, it's complex, but it end up this is always very confusing. Okay, this is QWERTY comma C. Anyway, so I'm just trying to say my mouse buttons for copy doesn't work now. Okay, let's go back. So that's it for today, I think. So on this question, this music programming language, I don't know. I've never actually tried any synthesizer programming language. It would be interesting. I don't know anything about it. Okay, I think that's it. So there's a question, is it true that Emacs on Windows is slow? Well, compared to Linux, it's slightly slower, but it's not practically, no, I wouldn't say, not today. If on Windows, if you are using Emacs on Windows, and if it's slow, you have some setup wrong. Okay, like there are certain configurations. For example, if you if you have lots of long lines, it's slow. If you have lots of weird fonts, Unicode characters of weird Egyptian characters, for example, if you have lots of, for example, let's go to, so let me type it. Okay, I'm hungry and I'm gonna okay, let me show you some of the reasons Emacs is slow. If you have a line that's thousands of chars, okay, if you have tab bars mod, at least used to be 10 years ago. Now, tab bar mod is not part of Emacs, but it became part of Emacs around 2015 or something. But it used to be, when you turn it on, it significantly slowed down Emacs. Okay, now this may be history. Now, another thing is still today is that if you have lots of Unicode chars, if your buffer have lots of Unicode, lots of chars, that's from rarely used Unicode chars, such as Egyptian. Egyptian or Islamic, Arabic. For example, you can, I'm going to demonstrate this right now. If you call the function hello, view hello file, by default, you can, this command view hello file is connected to the key CH, I think. Okay, but I turn it off because sometimes by mistake I press that, then you have to wait for 2 seconds for it to show. I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, do it. You see, 2 seconds, 3 seconds is still not showing. 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Wait, did I press enter? Yes, I did. 5 seconds. By now it's 10 seconds. It's stuck. But eventually it'll come up. Okay. Oh God. Now, okay. So after 10 seconds, it showed up. So what is this file? This is kind of a demo file that contains lots of different languages, trying to show off Emacs ability of all these languages. It takes 10 seconds to start up. I'm pretty sure it probably, I don't know for sure for on Linux, it probably the same, okay? Why is it slow? Because when Emacs encounter different characters, it has to find out what font to use, and so it has to do lots of search, things like that. Let's close this. Let's do it again. Maybe the second time it shows. Yeah, you see, the first time it takes 10 seconds. The second time it shows. Okay, so I gotta go. So I'm thirsty, and I hope I answered all the questions. That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to, like today, I'm going to make a schedule for the next few YouTube, so you can see what time they will start. So I'm gonna schedule that. Okay, bye guys. Thanks for watching.